Deputy President of Kenya, that is Rigathi Gachagua, is trending on Twitter right now. Why? Because he has said that Mithika Linturi, the former Minister of Agriculture here in Kenya, was overworking. Who does that? Imagine someone mentions this particular guy who was involved in corruption cases, involved in scamming fertilizers to Kenyans, and then someone, because you are deputy president of a country, you just come out bashing and saying, you know what, this was my best performing minister. And you don't even have, respect for the farmers in Kenya who are being caught. Millions and millions of Kenya shillings they spent on buying fake seeds, fake fertilizer. Imagine farmers here in Kenya bought. Is it expired? It was not expired. It was donkey's poop. And they were calling it fertilizer. Let me take this particular time to break to you what is donkey's poop. Okay, donkey's poop, it had this particular, is it acids? If you went back into high school, there was this particular, some basic knowledge that we learned that donkey's poops carries poison, and where it poops, nothing grows on that particular soil, and now here comes another particular guy saying that, you know what, because he overworked by involving himself in that particular scandal, he was the best. Let me tell you, we are now very sure who made Mithika, is it? Who made Mithika Linturi to do that particular kind of job, to have that particular contract of getting us fake fertilizer. Maybe Rigathi Gachagua was among that particular tycoons who ordered for Kenyans to be scammed fertilizer. You know what? My good name is Anthony Jenga, and this is Media Kenya, the number one online TV. Remember, like, subscribe, and share any day, anytime. So, you guys, I have been complaining about this a lot of times. It is uncountless, I remember many different occasions where the Deputy President of Kenya have come out in public and said long things that don't make people so happy. There was this particular time that he went and said that Kenya is like a shareholder company, something to do with that, and people are so mad with him. You know what? It has led to that particular extent. We as Kenyans, we don't need to be told some kind of these particular things. Why tell us that Kenya is like a company? Everyone has a shareholder. So you mean, so for those people who didn't vote to you, you are not going to blame developments to them. I tend to say, and I say each and every time, politicians are like wolves. Kenyan politicians, majority of them are like wolves. They eat what? I'm sorry to say this, but the last particular time we had this particular conversation of politics entering into, the center of everything in Kenya. It is each and every day. We talk about it each and every time because there is no any other way out. Politicians, politicians, politicians. We keep crying about that. But right now here in Kenya, it is sad. It is sad that a whole deputy president, I think this particular seat should be scrapped off, because I don't remember any particular time where a deputy president was doing well in government. I don't. I remember the last regime, I'm talking about the Uhuru regime. Then, William Samuel Ruto was then the deputy president. Now he is the president. Back then, he used to be, involved in these types of shenanigans out there. He was always on top of car, braining the government. Have you seen someone blaming something that you are responsible to do? You know, saying, the people in government and you are the second most powerful person right there, and now you are complaining out here, doing this. Sometimes politics, they say it's a dirty game, but sometimes politicians, you have to come out and become leaders. But I'm so sorry, Kenyans, we should apologize to ourselves, not to anyone, but to ourselves, because I think we made a wrong choice. We have to apologize dearly so that we can next time at least elect some leaders. We don't want politicians anymore, because each and every time they open their mouth, they yap, 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 only to say crap at the end. Only they have to say it is only just crap. So you guys, my guys, I tend to think that we should do more. Look at this another particular situation. The president looks like he is humiliating his deputy, but he is not. Imagine they are playing the game. That is the game they are playing, so that we can divert the attention from development projects and look at that particular saga and say, oh my God, he is doing that to a deputy president. It is not possible, those kind of shenanigans each and every time that makes you to lose focus. It makes you to be so attached to some particular cheap politics where they are eating our money. They are, we should hold these particular guys responsible. We should make them pay dearly. Dearly, I'm telling you dearly, if you don't make this particular, if you don't keep checking upon this particular government, they will mess this particular country forever. Look at the opposition of this particular country. It has failed. It has failed totally, terribly. I can't just say that. It has terribly failed because the opposition is not keeping in check with the government. It is it is silent. But I remember 2 months ago, they were just yapping how the government is so bad, so bad. But because they were given some, they were given the bag. What am I meaning the bag? The bag is a meaning of what? Or is it an idiom? I can generally say that a bag is buying out the opposition. They were given some particular cash, and also there are few top members. They were appointed into different parts of this particular country. For example, you see Hassan Joho was appointed to be a minister of minerals and blue economy, which is worth him shutting up. There is the likes of Aparanya and such and such and such. So there is a lot of politicians from the other particular side that were put in check. Look at this. Opposition now is totally failing. Opposition, I'm talking about opposition, has totally failed because they were bought out by the government. No one is there to keep checking about this particular government. Now, our last hope was this particular opposition leader by the name Raila Amolo Odinga. He went ahead and said, Kenyans, I have fought for you for a long time. I think it's my time to build my legacy. Look at what he is doing. And I'm not ashamed to say this, but Baba in the past used to read these particular words, but he didn't take Kenyans far. In fact, he took Kenyans into the mess more because he was not telling the truth, because it led to a certain time that he became just like a nobody. Look at it. He was always being bought by the government. So he goes out on the street, says this and says, but after all, he doesn't fulfill, although that is the work of a politician, but he doesn't fulfill what he have terribly promised. And out from that, she was bought out each and every time by any government. We have seen this, but by the President Moi government, President Kibaki's government, and President Emeritus Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta's government. Now it is President William Ruto's government. It has brought out. But because Baba is old, Baba has become so wise and be like, I cannot be fighting for this particular family for eternal life, forever. It doesn't happen like that. So what I have to do, it is just very, very simple. I have to keep it very, very simple. Because I was not able to be the president of this particular Republic of Kenya, I have tried so many times and Kenyans have said, you are not going to be. Because I tend to think the closest time that Baba had won the election was the 2007 elections, and but it was later disqualified, and people terribly leaked the elections, and he ended up forming the Grand Coalition government and coming on board as the Prime Minister of Kenya. So I can generally say that the highest office Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga has ever reached is the Prime Minister's office. So you guys, my guys, that's it. So Baba reached to that particular extent and be like, I have fought for Kenyans each and every war of food, war of politics, war of everything, including equality. Now I think it's my time to build my legacy, because he thought when 2027 comes, I think I will not make a very good president. So let me try this particular chance of becoming first Kenyan AU, president. It's a very good thing of building his legacy. I wish him all the best, because I support Kenyans out there, because let me tell you, we don't have another country, so we have to support our guy. But we are not the people who are going to vote in the Kenyan African's president that will be voting on that particular same time. So don't tend to think that you will be among those particular people. So Baba Ari this particular year was saying that I cannot enter into this particular game. I can't. But look at him now. It's so much different. You can't imagine that is happening to Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, because he had vowed each and every time. He was vowing, you know what, I cannot do this, I cannot be part of this. And then there was the deputy president who was saying, I have just make sure and closed all the gates near the State House to make sure that the opposition leaders doesn't come near the State House. But later, sooner than later, what did we see? In fact, we saw Raila Amolo Odinga being invited when the King of England was here. We have seen him many times, and later we have just discovered that they are just mere friends. You cannot be talking about this each and every time. So we can generally see that this particular government has totally failed. But when it comes to 2027, you guys, look at this all particular times you are struggling. At that particular time, I keep telling you not to use your emotions to choose leaders. Use your mind. When you use your mind, it is actually very easy for you to make that particular decision. Don't be emotional saying, this particular is our guy, we cannot leave this. That is what has been messing our country for a long time. Yeah, and nobody is speaking about that. because it's the truth, it is the reality, you know. Like imagine a whole deputy president coming out in public and saying, you know, Mithika Linturi was our best performing minister, which is totally a lie. Look at it this way. Mithika Linturi was involved in this particular scandal. He was taken to parliament and parliamentarians said no, they don't want him. And when it was taken to that particular, is it a parliamentary group to vet this particular guy? They voted against. But the parliament, the majority side has said we don't want this particular minister. So it tend to make me that so mad about this and think that our members of parliament, sometimes you are not wise, you are failing this particular country, and that's what it is, gaslighting out citizens, because they are seeing these all kind of things live on television, how you people are performing in parliament. Remember, this is the 20th century, vision 2030. Everyone is learned here in Kenya. Everyone has a TV, has access to TV, to, you know, and have access to their mobile phones. So they are watching you live in parliament, what you are doing. So they even know when you are making those particular terrible mistakes. So you cannot come out and lie again. I have been watching president being booed. I have been seeing a lot of politicians being booed by the public, and that shows that the public just knows that it is time. We cannot be continuing saying the same thing each and every time. If we don't want this, we don't want. Stop keeping us, you know, like we are children, just saying that we shall do, you know, because that's what the politicians have been doing, including the deputy president. I'm talking about Rigathi Gachagua. Right now, he has totally failed. How can you say that? How? Saying that, you know, you have come out in public and say that Mithika Linturi was the best performing Angoa. Eh, that is totally bad. It is not totally good to you. I remember people were being given the poop instead of fertilizer. What's that? You just go out there, take limestone, put it in this particular sieve it until it becomes so soft and looks like exactly like a fertilizer, weighing it, package it, and then sell to people. There was even evidence showing those particular fake fertilizer being sold out. We took those particular clips, they were taken to parliament, there he was investigated and found that he has collapsed. But you know what? The parliamentary, that is it a parliamentary committee that was appointed to vet him, just went out and said that that was fake, it was not original. This particular seat of a deputy president, I don't think it is worth. It should be scrapped off, because each and every time we have a problem with a deputy president. So for 2010 constitution to me made at least some particular, it has some particular mistakes. And I look at this particular way. When I look at devolution, it is good, it is well, but there is some particular seats that should be scrapped off immediately. They are totally worthless. Look at the seat of a women rep. We are just wasting money, because I tend to think that we are equal. Men and women are equal. So it doesn't make you know, it's so good when you prioritize more women than men. And also it is just a waste of resources, because I have never seen the work of a women rep. Yeah, this particular seat should be scrapped off. As a senator's seat also should be scrapped off. Why paying a lot of money to these particular guys They don't have any work that they usually do. Let us remain with one parliament. I'm talking about members of parliament. Also, when it's scrap of these particular two seats, the women rep and the senators, it will just make a lot of sense. Yeah. And then when it comes to nationwide, you need to scrap off the principal secretaries and other particular ministers. You can conjoin those particular ministers, because when we work with these particular crews per, PSs, it is just totally worthless. Totally worthless. What is the last time that you've seen PS working? Like you get to each and every cabinet secretary has two principal secretary. What's that? It is just a oral way of just making money for this particular, allies of the president. Because when the campaigns are over, the president just chooses these particular people just to reward them for campaigning for him. So I can't generally say he doesn't appoint them to come to work. He appoints them to come to, to take our money, to lure our money. Yani, these particular things should be scrapped off, and we could have saved a lot of money. Then we should scrap these particular things off. And I have said this, is it the second time? In the bad government, is it bad? I have seen this particular thing. Why Albasar is so important? Why? For what thing? Bursaries should be scrapped off immediately, and education should be made free of charge. Imagine. Everywhere. Imagine they are now telling us that we should be given bursary to do what? Those particular bursaries are the ones that are used in corruption. So CDF should be scrapped off, and all that particular money should be meant to be put in education and health coverage. There are two things I know they should be free of charge. For us Kenyans, not paying any dime, but we should pay for taxes, but not those heavy burdened taxes. We pay taxes a lot, but sometimes they are not working for us. Look at this way. We should not be paying for any medical bill or for health. So health should be made free of charge. We should not pay any dime to any diseases to be treated here in Kenya. And also, when it comes to education should be an equalizer between the rich and the poor and the middle class. So, education should be made free of charge. When you make those particular two items free, people will be wise, people will be innovative, and people will start figuring it out together. Because when you look at this particular way, a poor woman here in Kenya is trying so hard to educate his or her kids. He is trying the best that he can. But you know what? In the end, it is not working, because it has become a struggle paying all that particular money just to educate your son or your daughter. And later in the you end up bankrupt. It is bankrupt. No one is talking about this. Kenyans, I think we need to wake up this particular time. It is our time to make the right situation, or to make the right decision. So ladies and gentlemen, this has been Ed Maigume Santo Jenga. And this is Eve Media Kenya, the number one online TV. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Until the next one, guys. Bye for now. Peace.